Hey everybody, it's Joe. Thank you for watching my SpaceX and Tesla Terafab construction video.
Well, hey everybody, as you can tell, I am not at Giga Texas. I'm at a different construction site, one you might have heard about, and it's going to be pretty cool to watch this thing get built. So where exactly am I? I'm over near College Station, Texas in Grimes County, and you may have heard that there's a new Terafab that's going to be built here. When it is completed, it's going to be potentially the largest building in the world, the most advanced chip manufacturing plant in the world, and it will be supporting the chip manufacturing processes and everything else that's going to support the AI data center orbital star mine that SpaceX is going to be putting out. It'll also be providing the chips for the Optimus robots and maybe a future version of the Cybertruck and other products. You never really know. But this is a opportunity for us to get a chance to see what this place looks like right now. And I would say before construction begins. However, that would not be true because very similar to what I saw at Giga Texas when it started up, they have already done the permits and they're in the process of doing some of the initial ground clearing, tree clearing, mulching, and just preparing for what is purported to be phase 1 of 10 different phases for the construction of this facility. Now, I'll show you a few of the images, a few of the video clips as we are talking, but one thing that stands out for sure is that this is quite rugged terrain. It's not exactly flat. There are some hills, undulations. There are several ponds. One of them is a large one that is man-made with a dam. It's in the middle of what will eventually be the cyclotron, which is the dead center of the entire complex. So that's going to have to go. There's other trees. There's a lot of cattle. There's barbed wire fences. As you can see, it's quite overgrown, and it's a lot different than the facility or the site that we saw Giga Texas being built. In fact, it may be surprising to many to see how much forest there actually is up here. This entire region of Texas is covered with lots of trees, and it's going to be a monumental task for them to eventually clear the over 4 miles of length for this building and the construction. So I did mention that there is construction going on already, or at least the precursors to that. And phase 1 apparently is up by the lake. And if you look at some of the renders, you can see what that end of the building will look like and how close it is to the lake itself. And it looks like there's large sections of this land that are being cleared already. In fact, it's hard to hear, but right behind me, right behind these tree lines, I can hear the earth movers in work right now. And of course, this is a Thursday. It's the 13th of August when I am out here for this first flight. And it's pretty neat to see that they are really moving very quickly on this. And we did hear that they were ready to go. So it looks like I can confirm that that is in fact the case. Now, first flight for me, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. So for the flight today, I'll narrate through, but we're going to just see a lot of different parts of the site, much of the length of the building and what it looks like where the land is right now. And hopefully this will give us all a good indication of where the status is of the building, what they have to do, and probably how long it's going to take for them to get all of this constructed. But nevertheless, I just want to say thank you to Tesla. They approved me to come out here, and they gave me the permission to fly my drone. So I appreciate that. And I guess without further ado, let's get the drone in the air. Let's fly around and see what Terafab looks like today.
If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you.
So let's start off with the familiar territory of Giga Texas, and I'll show you how to get to Terafab. You need to go 100 miles or 158 kilometers east-northeast of the main Giga Texas site. And when you get to this location, we're very close to College Station and also in a very forested area of Texas. This is next to Gibbons Creek Reservoir, and nearby is the Millennial Power, which is a defunct power station. It was acquired in 2019, ironically, for AI data centers. I'm not sure if that really has any relation to Terafab. This shows the footprint of the main building. The circle is the Electron Synchrotron accelerator, and it's located right next to a large lake that has a dam, and this is going to cause some problems as they get ready for construction. We also see the clearing as of yesterday. This kind of pink dotted line area is what they're already clearing right now. And this image shows you what it will look like, according to the renders, when this facility is completed. To get to the site, you take Highway 30, and as you do that, you'll see this on the road. Now, this may surprise people who've been in different parts of Texas. This is not flat, and it's got a lot of trees and vegetation, and there's also some ranches nearby for cattle and other animals. As we continue farther down the road, on the left-hand side of this video is where the site is for Terafab, and this also just gives you an idea of the rural nature of the entire area. So a lot of infrastructure is going to be needed to support the Terafab. So when you get onto the actual site, this kind of dotted line area is where the active construction is underway right now. I thought I would show you kind of a drive through some of the site and the area around the Terafab, just so you can get a better idea of what all the terrain looks like on the actual site. And I could hear machinery at work removing the trees, preparing some of the land, and primarily working on phase 1 of what will eventually be the 10 phases, according to Elon Musk. And right now they're working on the north part. We're sort of on the south part here. The site is heavily wooded. There are dirt roads, some ponds and lakes. Of course, I'd mentioned the one that has the dam. We have structures like you see on the left-hand side of the screen. And there's also a lot of underground utilities, as well as a main power line that goes right over where the main factory is going to be built. So I think that's one of the reasons why they have a lot of phasing, is because there's going to be a lot of utilities that need to be relocated to support the construction of the Terafab. I also expect, in addition to all of that rework and moving of the utilities, there's going to have to be a lot of work on ponds and some of the water table around this area. And so we're going to have to see a lot of water management going on to support this entire site. There's also some pretty rugged terrain with a lot of trees coming down. And this is a great video showing you what some of that is like. The surrounding area, as I mentioned, is mostly ranch and farmland. Just basic roads, one major highway, which we saw on as we were driving in a little bit earlier. I expect that there's going to have to be a lot more infrastructure and services put around this area if it's going to be attracting as many people and employees to be working here at Terafab as what is expected. As I mentioned, it's very close to College Station and Texas A&M, so I think that this is going to be a big draw for a lot of the talent that is graduating right from the local community. And I think that may be a big advantage to College Station for having Terafab out here. As you can tell, a lot of ranch, a lot of farmlands and animals. And pretty much if you were to go out the site right now, this is kind of what you would see, and is the conditions that the workers are having to work through to prepare the site for the major construction, which will be Terafab very soon. So one more shot of the render kind of flying over the site, showing you what it will eventually look like. And I wanted to show you this one last time before we get into the drone video, because it will help put into context all of the clearing, all the preparation, and the amount of work that they have yet to do to turn this wooded field with a lot of hills and valleys into this amazing facility. All right, well, good morning here at the Terafactory site. This is my very first drone flight here, so I'm kind of getting a feel for the location just along with everybody as well. So I'll just be talking about the things that I noticed as we, fly around. This large lake has a earthen dam. This is right at the section of where the synchrotron is going to be built, and that's for that free electron laser. So that's going to be a very big challenge. As we look back towards the direction, kind of the east, northeast here, you can see a lot of these fields. And as mentioned in the intro and the other discussions, a lot of the forest. There's also ranches, many cows, other livestock that's throughout this location, and some structures, as you can tell as well here at the bottom center of the screen. The top of the screen coming into view is that Gibbons Creek Reservoir. This is what has been kind of prominently displayed in all of the renders. This is to the north, and we're sort of flying right to the north right now to get you sort of a good idea of exactly where we are. To help further with that is on the upper left is the clearing that is for the northern part of the factory, kind of that wider section, and then running along the left-hand side will be the main building heading to the south. And we are also kind of looking across into what I think is the property for Tesla. It's hard to tell for sure. I don't have all of the land markings right now, and I haven't had a chance to really research that yet. But what you can see is at the bottom of the screen, between some of the trees, there's some roadways. There's also access ways for power lines. I noticed that throughout a lot of the site itself as I was driving around and taking a look at that. There's also a lot of gas pipelines that are buried throughout the entire site. And that and other utilities are what are going to have to be contended with as they clear out this site. As we continue to get closer into the clearing that is underway right now, this is kind of interesting to see what they are doing. They are starting on the north end. This is phase one, as we talked about. And what we are mainly seeing right now is the removal of the trees, a lot of the vegetation. They're getting them into a bunch of piles for mulching, and we're also starting to see what the natural topography looks like. And there's a lot of, as I mentioned, hills, not 100% flat. There's kind of sections that have these circular depressions in them with some rock underneath the soil. We also see some erosion throughout the areas, probably kind of like creeks or where water would run through the forested section before they started doing the clearing. And we're kind of looking back towards the west again. That large square you see on the top left, that was actually here prior to the clearing. But I think they are repurposing it most likely for the contractor trailers, their offices while they're out on the site, and probably some materials. And we've seen that on, Giga Texas, and it's very common for a lot of other construction sites. Now, I often get asked by viewers if I could put up a map showing where we are. And for this initial flyby, I thought it would be good for all of us. So just a reminder, this is where we are currently. You can see the arrow, that's sort of the drone in the direction that the drone is facing. And you can see the big Gibbons Creek Reservoir in the upper left from the point of view of the drone. As we come back to the video, you can kind of get that orientation exactly where we're at. Now, this part of the clearing looks to me like they are preparing for not only the structure itself, but some of the roadways that we see in that rendering on the north end. This is sort of the widest part of the building structure. And then it tapers down to kind of four parallel buildings that head off towards the bottom right down towards the south. As we continue to maneuver towards the west, looking back towards the reservoir across much of the site, to me, this looks like it's about half of the clearing that is needed for the at least the northern part of the full render, and that would have to continue off to the left even more into the tree lines and through where you see that break where the roads and kind of that break through the trees on the upper left. So if we see on the right what it looks like right now, imagine mirroring it to some degree off to the left. We also see some vehicles all gathered together in a clearing, and I think that's where the main workers are right now as they prepare for going out and clearing more of the land. And as I continue to pull away, I'll show you this arrow where we are now. We're kind of at the almost southern border of the current cleared section. And as I mentioned, you can see how that is represented with the footprint of the factory. As I continue to fly towards the south, I'm going to pivot the drone a little bit more to the west. And you can see this rectangular field. Now, this actually was here before construction began. According to the Google Maps that I was able to look at, it's been here for a while, but this is where I think they're going to repurpose for those contractor trailers, some of their operations here at the site, and maybe some of the materials. At the bottom of the screen is another clearing, and of course the roadway is the main access road for now for the construction crews, so they can get in to this site from Highway 30, which is off to the left of the screen. You also see all of those power poles heading up to the north. That goes up to that Millennial Power site, but it is not operational right now. I'm going to show you the arrow again where exactly we are located. There's that large clearing that we were talking about, and up at the farther to the left, you can see that Millennial Power system with those rectangular ponds. That's at the top of the screen. Now, from what I understand is that power system was retired back in around 2018 or so. It was purchased by this group that is sort of forward thinking as far as AI data centers, and their plan is to renovate that site for data centers. Kind of ironic that Tesla and SpaceX are now building the world's largest chip factory right next to that. So what the relation is between the Millennium Power and the Terafab, I do not know. I'm going to continue to fly slowly to the south, keeping the drone faced to the north, mostly because I've trying to fight through some of the sun effects at this hour of the morning. But also I wanted to give you a good appreciation for the amount of trees and forest that is all throughout this area. It is quite dense. And as where you can see where the clearing is once they do clear the trees, you can find this kind of undulating, non-level, and almost like circular depressions throughout much of this topography. Now, at the bottom of the screen, this large clearing is where more utilities cross through this site. And I'll put the map back up. You can see that line kind of going diagonally through. You can also see that we're in the middle of that synchrotron, and also where the building would be off to the right of the screen here. Now, these utilities are all crossing right underneath or right through where the factory is going to be. So that's one of the reasons why I think that they're multi-phase, is they're going to have to go through the process of relocating a lot of these utilities and then maybe even tying into them for the Terafab. As I continue to fly further to the south, just trying to give you not only a view of the entire site, but also I'm trying to get a feel for the size of this site, and it is quite extensive. I think that when I do cover this and do periodic videos, I'm not going to be able to do like I did at Giga Texas, which is doing a lot more detail look at all the structures and everything, mostly because this is a very difficult site to fly. The locations where I would be, and also as the site continues to grow, makes my flight distances a lot farther. I also have to fly at a higher altitude for just making sure I have signal with all of the trees and all that, but also because the site is so large, getting down low, it's really difficult to see kind of the forest for the trees, so to speak. is that the site is just so huge. So I think I'll be doing just high altitude flybys periodically so that we can get an update. Now I'm going to put the map back on. You can see how far I've flown to the south. We're looking almost directly along the spine of what will be the building, the big circle for that synchrotron again. We're also coming right over this large lake that I mentioned. And this kind of view will give you an idea of just how big it truly is. Not sure exactly of the depth, but you can see through the waters here that there are some darker blue areas, so it's probably not trivial. And this entire lake is going to have to be removed because, as you can tell, looking up at that cleared section, we're right in the middle of the building, and the building will continue behind me further to the south. So as I continue to maneuver here, I'm going to work my way even farther to the south, and I'll resume the narration here in just a little bit. I've turned the drone towards the west just a little bit more so you can see all of those power lines that go through that part of the site. And there's other ones that cross through the site as well, and they tee off from those power lines. As I kind of maneuver on this south side looking way to the north, just one more reminder where we're at. At the top is the Gibbons Creek Reservoir. You can see where we are on the map, looking almost directly to the north. We're still not to the southern border of the structure itself. And I didn't go much further than this because there's actually a road right beneath me, and that road is most likely going to have to be relocated as well, as it connects two small towns, one to the left and one to the right here along the site. As I continue to maneuver towards the kind of the east right now, a good view of that pond in the middle of the site, and also some of the clearing with some of the utilities that go through this part. You can see with the linear trees at the bottom right of the screen. Also, where there it looks like there was some excavation off to the left heading over towards that large lake, and more kind of ranch cleared sites below to the right. Of course, many more of the trees. So I think once this factory is completed, they'll probably plant more trees, and it will kind of give it a kind of a modern high-tech, but with a lot of trees and nature around the site. And if the renders are accurate, then it's going to be quite stunning. And I hope that it'll really blend in with all of this area, and then they'll bring in more of those logistics and support and services because of the growth here. I'm going to put the map one more time up, show you where we are with the drone. We're kind of looking to the northwest. You can see the pond where it is located onto the drawing of the structure. You can see why that pond is going to have to be removed. And I think that's going to be a major effort, because they're going to have to drain it. The water is going to have to go somewhere, and then they're going to have to prepare and fill up this entire site to make it suitable for construction. So I think we're going to see a lot of pier work, similar to what we see up at Giga Texas, but it may require a lot of the reinforced piers, probably with grout or concrete in addition to just the geo piers. As I continue to fly back towards the north, we're looking across much of the site. This large clearing is also part of where the Terafactory is going to be. Sorry about that. Also, the synchrotron circle is right underneath the drone. It will be kind of throughout this entire section where you see these pastures along with all of the trees. Also note that at the bottom of the screen we see some more structures, and I think that these are either structures and land that are currently owned by private people that are going to have to be sold, or they've already sold and it's part of the deal. But nevertheless, all of this is going to have to be cleared out to make way. I'm going to put the map up one more time just to show you where we're at. We've kind of maneuvered around that synchrotron circle. We're looking to the northwest now and across the purple area there with the highlight, and that's showing you the clearing that is currently underway. I think it's also worth showing that that purple area, the clearing that they are doing, is so small compared to how much they're going to have to do. So the scale of what they're going to have to do for clearing and prepare this entire land for this major construction is just another level, much more than what we saw with Giga Texas. And Giga Texas was probably a good 6 to 9 month process making the site worthy for construction. So I would say that this one's going to be probably similar to that, but if they have smaller phases, then they may be able to go faster, but in smaller chunks, and perhaps that is what the plan is. So I'm going to continue to maneuver here a little bit more towards the site. We're going to come up and I'm going to give you a little bit more detailed view of the clearing and the work that is underway. So right now it looks like they are doing kind of these large rectangular chunks out of the trees, and also that debris that's left over from the mulching. And you can look across towards that large square or rectangular clearing just at the top center of the screen. And again, that was predating the work here. As we get in closer here, good view of some of these circular sections that are kind of pockmarking throughout this, at least I wouldn't call it a graded area. It's just mostly cleared right now. They'll have to do all the grade. You can see those erosion lines, those channels coming to view. I'll try to maneuver the drone and give you a better view of that. This gives you an idea of sort of the topography and the elevation. It's higher on the left, lower on the right, and the water works its way through. So all of this is going to be part of that water management that they're going to have to do. Also, a good look at this northernmost clearing so far. I don't know how much farther to the north they're going to have to go for this phase. But I've had some people, when they saw the pictures that I posted on X yesterday, they were commenting that this reminds them a lot of Giga Berlin and the work that was done early on with the trees, and it is very similar. Of course, another view here of the land that they have to work with. It's very different than what Giga Berlin had to deal with, and it's also quite different than what Giga Texas had to deal with the sand and gravel mines there. This is more just area that was forested for a very long time, and they're going to have to make sure that whatever processes are suitable for this type of land. And I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to be like as I compare to what we've seen before. There are some earthwork equipment on the ground. This gives you a sense of that scale. I'm actually at a pretty high altitude. I'm as high as I'm legally allowed to go, and that helps make everything look a lot smaller. And so it kind of makes the scale a little bit difficult to deal with, but that's sort of the nature of this site. And as I kind of get more accustomed to that, I'll be able to figure out, what the better approach is. But great view of that Gibbons Creek Reservoir, how large it is. I have been told that it is open to the public. You can go out with boats on it. I would imagine that that is going to continue to some degree, even with the Terafab completed. And similar to Giga Texas with their talk about doing ecological river parks and river walks in areas open to the public, I'm kind of hoping that we're going to see the same thing for Terafab because of just the surrounding area and what everybody has been using at least the lake for. And it would be great to, as a community relations, and just build that bond with the community to keep that going. So I'm going to fly one more time over towards the west. We're a little bit farther north now, different perspective on this pre-existing rectangular section of the site. You can see some of the equipment that is already on site, and they've already started putting in some more of the trailers and so forth up to the north part. To kind of wrap up the video, I thought I would just come to this view, kind of look one more time around the entire site. We're kind of in the north, looking to the south. There's that large lake again. And it's a little bit hazy today, and the sun is in a difficult angle, but everything you see in the center and to the left, all the way past the lake and beyond, is where the actual Terafab will be built. As I continue to move the drone around here, a good view of that clearing, that line on the left for utilities, the density of all of the trees that are here next to the cleared spot, and at a slightly lower altitude, what this section looks like. Reminder that this phase 1 is about $17 billion, according to what we've heard from SpaceX. And of course, there's going to be about 10 different phases. When all is said and done, I've seen figures up to almost $120 billion for this entire facility. So anyway, to wrap up, I'll show you the render in the same location that we were at. I hope this is helpful, and thank you very much for watching.